Welcome, everyone. We are so very pleased to be bringing you another play reading. I am Kathleen Calais. I'm the artistic director of ATC Studios, and I am honored to be your host tonight. Just a couple of words for those of you who are joining us for the first time. ATC Studios is dedicated to nurturing the creative spirit in everyone. And prior to COVID, we would provide live forums for playwrights and screenwriters to get their work read and in front of an audience. Since April of 2020, we have now moved that program to Zoom, and we are probably never going to go back to the absolutely purely live performances. We are very excited to be including all of you from all around the nation, in fact, all around the world, in this playwrights process. Thank you so much for being here. As part of our mission for making the arts accessible to everyone, we offer as many free programs as we can, and Fridays at the Studio, which you're at tonight, is one of them. We are now scheduling readings all the way through 2023. So if you'd like to be kept up to date with all of our offerings, including classes, please do subscribe to our newsletter, and you can find the mailing list link on our website right under the About Us tab. As you may know, ATC is a 501c3. We are a nonprofit, and almost every arts nonprofit that we know has the same ask. Times are challenging. Times are always challenging for the arts. So if you can possibly donate, we certainly appreciate it. These programs are free, but donations of any amount are so gratefully accepted. There are several ways you can donate: through our website's homepage, through Venmo at ATC Studios, through PayPal, through Facebook, and through Zelle. We are about to get going, and tonight's offering is Operation Clutterbuck by Jack West. The play is being directed by the playwright and features Bernard Bosio, Suzanne DuCharme, Phillip Garver, Sarah Haudek, George Libbares, Martin Pfefferkorn, Chris Robertson, Jack West, and Pamela Yachouh. Karen Corrado reads the stage directions. The running time is approximately 1 hour and 40 minutes, and this 3-act play will be presented tonight without an intermission. So sit back, enjoy the show, and we'll see you on the other side.
Setting, England, 1940. Movie projector revs up. Rule Britannia plays over World War II newsreel or photo montage of troop movements, bombs blasting, Winston Churchill addressing Parliament or crowds under.
France has fallen to the Nazis. Britain stands on the verge of invasion under Hitler's plan, codenamed Operation Sea Lion. The fate of their beloved United Kingdom hanging in the balance, Prime Minister Winston Churchill urges every last resort must be used to battle the relentless enemy, no matter how ridiculous, no matter how far-fetched. This is the story of the one that was ridiculously far-fetched.
Lights up. In the study at 10 Downing Street, Bishop George Bell seated outside the interior bathroom door in conversation with Churchill, who's in the bathroom.
With the devastation we experienced at Boulogne-sur-Mer, it will take months to rearm our military. Months, Winston! The RAF has barely enough pilots left to fight.
Our German rifles are already crowing. They've just as much as won the war, George. We can't afford months lying exposed in a vulnerable position.
We must explore the possibility of negotiated peace settlement.
Oh, as if England is a woman of easy virtue. Now, the French, on the other hand.
I fear otherwise a German invasion is inevitable.
Ooh, Monsieur Churchill, we promise not negotiate the peace with the Nazis, voulez-vous do not, they said. And then they signed an armistice with Germany. Well, we'll never give up, never give up, never give up, never give up. I was thinking of using that in a speech, but wasn't sure.
That it's a bit much?
You think so?
Try giving up the last give up.
Good advice, George. Keeps me from appearing like a windbag.
You give me far too much credit.
I refuse to appear on the world stage looking like a Parisian harlot.
Toilet flush. The bathroom door swings open, and he's wearing a white shirt, Boxers, black socks held up with sock garters, chomping on a cigar.
Poland had a peace treaty with Germany. Look at them now. Considering peace with the Nazis should strike terror into one's heart. Sheer terror! Like a 90-year-old facing icy steps.
And fight them with what? The armament we abandoned at Dunkirk?
Then anything and everything, no matter how remote or ridiculous its taunts at repelling the enemy, must be pressed into service. Vehicles, no matter how old. Machinery, no matter how old. Men, no matter how old or feeble. We'll mobilize them, arm them with rifles. And when we run out of rifles, we'll use knives. And when we run out of knives, sticks. Sticks with pointy edges. Sharp, spiky, pointy edges. An old, feeble man with a pointy-edged stick can be deadly.
What? If they stumble and accidentally fall on you?
It's as if you can read my mind. We must fight on, George. The war is knocking on our door.
Door knock. Churchill leaps into Bishop's lap.
Prime Minister, you sent for me? Are you two in some sort of conference?
Ah, Bishop. Meet Lieutenant Commander Fleming, Royal Navy, Intelligence. If you can use those terms together. Fleming, meet my advisor, the Dean of Canterbury.
How do you?
Bishop of Chichester, theologian and member of the House of Lords.
How do?
Very right, Reverend George Bell.
How do you?
Everyone just calls me very right.
Do?
Fleming's in charge of covert operations. Good man. Nothing distracts him from his mission. Isn't that right, Fleming? Fleming?
Huh? Plus no one. Keep my affairs buttoned up. Prefer dogs over people as companions. I save a bundle at Christmas time.
Fleming here is the inventor of the poison-dipped dot gun umbrella.
Never trust another man's umbrella.
He also invented the magnetized trouser button.
Let me guess. Saves time dressing and precious zipper metal?
For use as an emergency compass. If you're lost behind enemy lines, your crotch points true north.
What's that other weapon of yours?
The tear gas firing fountain pen.
Apparently, you also can't trust into the man's Mont Blanc.
Not only for use by our men to immediately immobilize enemy agents, but as it turns out, a big hit for them at home at kiddie parties. Lets the parents get away to have a few minutes for themselves.
The exploding rat.
Good heavens, what's that for?
Personal amusement.
You can get up now, George.
Bishop rises from his seat, revealing Churchill's trousers draped over the chair's back.
The crease should be pressed out by now.
And he gets dressed throughout the following briefing to comedic effect, getting the clothes on wrong, backwards.
Now, on to your latest plan. What do you have?
We confuse Hitler.
I like it. Well done.
There's more to it than that.
Damn it.
How do we confuse Hitler?
I was coming to that very right. Can't I just call you Bishop?
Very good.
Is that another one of your titles?
Is it? Oh, hang on, it is.
How, you ask? We infiltrate his headquarters and make barely noticeable changes around him. Completely inconspicuous changes to anyone else, yet sufficient enough to make him doubt his sanity.
Such as?
Little things. Swap his pen for a pencil. Nudge his phone an inch away from its usual spot. Switch his Wiener Schnitzel to Schweiner Schnitzel. Nuance changes not noticeable to the human eye, yet enough to lead him to believe he's gone insane.
I say, bravo! And how will we be able to tell if it worked?
Right. Then there's Plan B. We've known for some time Hitler and high-ranking members of the Nazi inner circle are led by the occult. Himmler has the fascination with mystical relics. Nostradamus is Betty by time reading for Rudolf Hess. And Goebbels is rumored to be conducting secret experiments with a mysterious compound for what fiendish purpose we do not know. He calls it tofu.
The monster!
He dares play God!
Simply put, Hitler and his top officers are devotees of the black arts. We can exploit that. If we can make Hitler believe he's under occult attack, that unnatural forces are at work against him, it could trouble him, paralyze his thinking, even break him.
Churchill finishes dressing.
Would you like a mirror to check your appearance, sir?
I fear it will only confirm it. And how do you propose to go about this troubling Hitler business?
We convince Nazi High Command we have witches casting spells to thwart them.
What's plan A again?
I object, Winston. Witchcraft? Really? It goes against the church.
Those things do, so what's your point?
As a man of faith, I protest. Invoking black magic as a means to protect our nation? I won't have it. Not a bit of it.
George, witches casting spells is merely people chanting invocations, petitioning the supernatural grant their request. How is that any different from what goes on in churches around the country on any given Sunday?
I'm afraid logic and reasoning will not work on me.
I'm afraid of the very same thing.
We're merely exploiting the same occult beliefs the Nazi High Command already used for guidance.
The devil's greatest tool.
It's psychology.
The devil's second greatest tool.
Yes, Freud does say right up there on page 1 of Introduction to Psychoanalysis, to handle with care may cause burning. George, sometimes measures call for strange bedfellows. Look at you and me. Fleming, stage the operation to occur in 3 nights hence.
I suggest we also mount a disinformation campaign, make them believe the stars have turned against them.
Good measure. We'll also lessen their concerns about our war campaign. Make them lower their guard. We'll broadcast fake radio transmissions that the British seek peace and wish to overthrow that old warmonger, Churchill. You know, that's what some people call me.
I do. I do.
We can use that against them.
They also call you a cantankerous drunken imperialist. Perhaps we can use that against them too?
They'll perceive the Russians as the greater threat and turn to battle them. We need a code name for this. Cleverer than Operation Walrus, or whatever mammal the Nazis came up with. We'll call it Operation Decoy.
No. It needs a code name that's clever, but from which you can't tell what it is.
I've got it. Operation Orangutan. They're damn clever buggers, but you can't tell by looking at them.
That is not what I meant, sir.
They can eat with their feet. Can you do that? I can't. Damn clever.
A code name which spells out... of course. Witch spells.
I've got it. Witch spells. We'll call it Operation Witch Spells.
I said that.
No, you didn't.
I just did.
I'm against it no matter what you call it.
Fine. Then orangutan.
I'll not stand by and have our good nation entangled with the occult. Whatever happened to using good old-fashioned British blood, sweat and tears? You were very big on that just last week.
I still am, but you can't bloody well defend an entire nation with body fluids.
Certainly you don't expect witchcraft to do the job.
I believe it's obsolete tomfoolery. Not that my belief matters. We only need the Nazis to believe we believe they believe it. Besides, curiously, Fleming's plan may be more a design of Providence than fortuitous, for I happen to receive a telegram this very morning.
Prime Minister, War Cabinet. Gentlemen, as I have a premonition, you will today create an operation of which is, no pun intended, aimed to influence the Nazis. I stand ready to offer you my supernatural services as a master of the black arts. Yours, Alistair Crowley. Damn, he's good.
He's Crowley, only the greatest of Europe's occultists.
Crowley? The one they call the Great Beast 666?
How many other Alistair Crowley 666 do you think there are?
665?
Fleming, meet with Crowley. He might be our man.
No, you dare taint the good British people's standing with the Almighty by entangling someone called the Great Beast 666?
Oh, that's probably just his biblical name. Mine's Daphne.
Keep me from a most unholy match.
Don't mind the monk melodrama. And when you meet with Crowley...
Be thy intents wicked or charitable, something wicked this way comes.
Stop making much ado about nothing.
That was Macbeth.
I wouldn't call thou a milk-livid loon, but only because I know far better insults.
Is that from Taming of the Shrew?
No, it's from the merry jibes of Winston.
First, aggrieve each other not, but be kind fellows, and reserve multifarious acrimony to strike the enemy a deadly wound.
2 gentlemen of Verona?
No, just aggrieve each other not, but be kind fellows and reserve multifarious acrimony to strike the enemy a deadly wound.
You have a way with words, Fleming.
You should take a course for writing, such as they advertise on matchbooks. Become a celebrated author in your spare time. I did.
'Tis safer to be that which we destroy.
Oh, stop with the dramatics.
Then by destruction dwell in doubtful joy. Mark my words, Winston. You can't have satanic forces and expect everything will turn out absolutely jammy.
Again with the dramatics, George.
I am not dramatic. And exit.
Don't demonize satanic forces, George. Without them, you'd be out of a job. Fleming, meet with Crowley. Get his recommendations on making it appear witches are casting spells. Evaluate and implement accordingly. And keep an eye on the bishop. He's a good man, but make sure he doesn't do something idiotically stupid that sabotages Operation Orangutan.
Which spells?
Which spells what?
The codename of the operation.
No, it doesn't. It's spelled orangutan.
Old Fiona Clutterbuck's parlor evening. The Hermetic Order of the Rosicrucian 12 is putting on a program attended by Fiona, Alistair Crowley, Cecil Thickwaggle, and Agnes Wittenford, collectively called Witches. Crowley, in mystical headdress, is the MC. In the midst of giving her presentation is Fiona.
He's giving me his name. Does Buford Primrose mean anything to anyone? Buford Primrose Smythe?
Question, is he the Buford Primrose Smythe who drowned in the flood of 23?
He's telling he's not, sorry.
How about the Buford Primrose Smythe who had the unfortunate run-in with the killer canary?
Hello!
Ooh, ooh.
He says they're small, they're pretty, but make no mistake, they're exceedingly angry little peckers.
I crossed paths with the canary once.
What happened?
Got chirpies.
Lieutenant Commander Fleming,
Yes, Crowley, how do you do?
please make yourself comfortable. We're almost done.
Fleming takes a seat. When he sits, he's careful to smooth out his uniform by pulling up his trouser legs, straighten his sleeve cuffs, etc.
Once again, Higgins would like to emphasize it's a nasty rumor. It's not the cause of his death, and the goat was only a little shaken. Those are all the messages from the beyond for tonight. Thank you.
That concludes tonight's meeting of the Hermetic Order of the Rosicrucian 12. May the stars guide you, and the moon shine fondly on you. In its waxings and wanings, all the days of your life. And after that, if applicable, Fleming, may I introduce you to old Fiona Clutterbuck.
Fleming moves to Agnes.
Pleasure.
Yes, it was. Do I know you?
No. Over here, Fleming. Fiona, if your ears have been ringing lately, I apologize. I've been chatting you up to the lieutenant. May I present Lieutenant Commander Ian Fleming. Fleming, meet old Fiona Clutterbuck.
How do you do?
You're old, Fiona Clutterbuck. Let me guess, you're an ancient being who retains her youth by some ritual sacrifices so macabre and makes grown men faint. Do tell.
Oh, no. But it's charming you think so.
No, I don't believe.
Old is merely a term of endearment. You know, as in, how are you, old sport?
I call my mother my little snollygoster.
I don't think that's a term of endearment.
I didn't say it was. Fiona, the Lieutenant Commander, is here on the mission of national importance for which he seeks counsel. I thought you might have something to contribute. Very hush-hush, I understand, Lieutenant Commander.
Indeed. A mission for king and country.
We operate under the authority of stars and moon.
Good. Then I'm in the right place. Tell me more about this group of yours, the Hermetic Order of the Rosicrucian 12, is it?
Oh, we're an old fellowship who simply like to gather on a summer's eve and chat about fancies such as the intricacies of supernatural agency in human affairs. Us backcountry folk need something simple to pass the time.
Some would call what you were doing tonight dabbling in the occult.
Fiona, you can't be forthcoming. It's safe. Fleming isn't here to arrest anyone claiming to practice witchcraft, are you, Lieutenant Commander? We could be of glorious service to Britain.
The Hermetic Order of the Rosicrucian 12. I count only 4 participants here. Where are the others?
Go ahead.
It started with 12. Membership was by invitation.
Or by accusation.
Over the centuries, we gained some members.
A big draw was the camaraderie, plus tremendous discounts on candles, essential oils, and cauldrons.
Lost some members.
Mostly by burning.
We're down to 4. We don't have the budget to change the stationery every time we add or lose a member.
Polite, affable, and frugal. I'm surprised a man hasn't snatched you up for a wife.
Yes, thank goodness. That sounds dreadful. Are you married, Lieutenant Commander?
Incurably so. To my work. You were saying?
About the order. It was founded 500 years ago by my ancestor, very much old Clutterbuck. She was 13.
Back then, that was middle age.
Or she was very much endeared.
We're not sure which.
Now then, the purpose of my visit must be kept in full confidence. Have I your word?
Mm-hmm.
We know Hitler plans to invade England via the English Channel.
How dastardly!
Using our channel against us? Let him use his own channel if he wants to invade us.
We have the manpower or weaponry to counter. Not at the moment, anyway. We need time to rebuild our resources. We may not have that time.
So you want us to divert him? Out with my headdress. It's an attention grabber.
That's not what we have in mind. Hitler and his officers believe in the black arts. We want to use that against them. Convince them they're under attack by British witches. It's a psychological ruse to discourage their invasion.
A psychological ruse?
Yes, we want to make it appear as authentic as possible, then plant evidence of the witchiness. Is that what you call it? Witchinessery? Witchcraft? Oh, yes, of course. Thank you. Plant evidence of the witchcraft to vex Hitler about proceeding with the invasion. Now, as to how you can help, Miss Clutterbuck.
Please, Fiona.
Fiona. I'm under orders from the Prime Minister to request you do... What's that word again?
Witchcraft.
Keeps escaping me. Sorry. Funny how certain words will do that. That's probably happened to you.
No.
I suggest a ritual might do the trick.
Help me remember. Thank you. No, I don't believe in...
I was talking about your operation. A black ritual. You agree, Alistair?
Once you go black.
Good. You evidently understand our needs. Your ritual has to be staged this Friday night.
In 3 days?
Time is of the essence.
Yes, of course.
And we drive that occult wedge right smack into Nazi high command. In fact, they're where to fight. Of course, for obvious reasons, it can't be disclosed the government is behind this.
And this comes as a request from Mr. Churchill. Oh, my.
You may consider it a direct order.
This is the premonition of which I had written Mr. Churchill.
Quite right. The Prime Minister's calling it Operation Orangutan.
Orangutan?
I'm not enthused about it either.
Oh, because they're very clever animals, but you can't tell by looking at them. I get it. What sort of black ritual would you prefer? Carbon black? Ink black? Eigengrau? I recommend iron black. It goes nice alongside most spells of the nefarious kind. A popular choice is onyx, slightly less than black, but very good nonetheless for hexing. Then there's black.
That one.
An excellent choice. And how much would the War Cabinet like to spend?
Alistair, it's our duty.
But think of all the stationery we'd be able to update.
We do this for king and country, stars and moon, and I dare say it's also our opportunity to show Britain witches are every bit as deserving of equality and respect as anyone else. Lieutenant.
Please, Ian.
Ian, it occurs to me we could cast a spell on Hitler, not unlike what my forefathers did to the Spanish Armada. That could work. I know the accounts in the Book of Shadows somewhere.
Beg pardon?
The Spanish Armada was a large naval fleet sent
I
by...
know what the Spanish Armada was. Book of Shadows. What is it your forefathers did to this Spanish Armada?
They stopped them.
Stop them?
Mm-hmm.
The Spanish Armada was a fleet of over 100 vessels. No man stopped them, not Sir Francis Drake, not any man. It was a storm that wrecked the ships.
And how do you imagine such a storm happened? By chance?
Oh, now.
A storm severe enough to wreck over 100 warships, striking at exactly the right time, exactly the right spot? Think about it. You're not going to deny it happened?
No, I'm not denying it happened. I'm saying, what does it matter? It doesn't matter. Will you arrange the ritual?
I can't think of any reason we wouldn't.
Then there's obviously some more you need to know. A small piece of information regarding your upcoming ritual will be strategically placed where it's impossible for it not to be intercepted by the Germans. I need to alert you, it's meant to lure undercover SS agents to investigate. We believe they'll observe and report their findings back to Nazi High Command. It's how news of your witchcraft. Yes, right, witchcraft. We'll get to Hitler. And that's what we hope for anyway, at best.
At best.
Would the worst case scenario be worst?
Crowley, I'm afraid that...
No, so am I.
I know what I'm asking of you is dangerous.
Nevertheless, we want to serve.
That's agreed.
We can stage the ritual in Ashdown Forest, outside Highcliffe.
That's a perfect spot.
In the clearing by the old gallows oak.
That's a tree.
Old gallows? A term of endearment for a tree?
No, it's old.
Ancient, actually. William the Redbeard was executed there in 1196. Word spread and bingo! It became a popular execution spot.
People would kill just to be hung there. Now they hold a music festival in the spot every year. Kids.
Neath billowed dark clouds in fields of barren earth, to be hung from ye old gallows oak, bring the doomed prisoners full. The crowd goes silent, the rope snaps taut. Ye prisoners' feet kick, body jerks all about.
I could see why it's so popular.
And there's a fresh crop of hallucinogenic mushrooms for Cecil to nibble on.
Sorry?
The fungus Amanita muscaria grows wild. It's got a red top. You'd know it if you saw it.
We're doing a ritual? Oh, joy! The mushrooms endow me with special powers.
Easter mushrooms would Irishman after whiskey.
Addicted?
Hickerwoggle here is a mycophagist.
How dare you, sir?
It simply means you enjoy a fun guy from time to time.
I said, watch your tongue.
And then we'll all dance naked in circles or under the moonlight. Won't we?
Of course we will.
Oh, ecstasy, I can't wait.
Here's to hexing Herr Hitler.
Hear, hear.
Yeah.
Did you say dance naked?
Churchill Study, 10 Downing Street.
The Spanish Armada?
The Spanish Armada was a large naval fleet sent by...
I bloody well know what the Spanish Armada was. Are you certain they understand what it is we're requesting?
Yes, sir, and it's just what the Prime Minister ordered. Of course, they being civvies, I think it probably afford them protective cover.
Yes, of course.
I'd like to be on that detail personally.
Granted. Just make certain nothing interferes with the SS agents reporting back to Berlin.
To that end, we know the Germans planted an undercover agent in the Romanian consulate in London. That's as much as we know about him at the moment.
You don't know who among them he is?
No one knows. However, I've sent correspondence to the consulate requesting advice regarding Romanian witch practices, letting them know we'll be staging a ritual to deploy against the Germans. I've given them the date and time, but not the location. I expect this will attract his attention. He's bound to make a move to find out where the ritual takes place. When he does, we'll be on his trail like pig's blood on pudding.
Whet my appetite to discover who the spy is, and for dinner in one fell swoop. You do have a way with words. By the by, have you been keeping tabs on the bishop? You saw how vehemently he opposes the campaign. I fear he may sabotage it, even if unwittingly. A slip of the tongue, that's all it takes.
I have reason to believe the circumstances I've arranged will serve to keep the good bishop tied up for a while.
What did you do? Fleming?
You said make sure he doesn't do something idiotically stupid that sabotages the operation.
Detail!
But you said so.
About what you did.
I think it best if you didn't know the details, sir.
And why not?
Frankly, I'm afraid you'd find it cagey, opportunistic, perhaps even unconscionable.
You do make me so proud of you.
Anything else, sir?
Yes, I find my mind preoccupied with one thought. One gripping, compulsive, all-consuming thought.
Yes, sir?
Dancing naked in the moonlight. Mustn't let that distract you from your mission while you're there.
I'll be too busy, on the watch for spy movement in the surrounding woods.
You're a better man than I.
I might confess, however, my doubts. I haven't the greatest confidence Fiona Clutterbuck will be convincing.
And why not?
Well, you see, she's...
She's what? What? Spit it out, man.
She's charming.
Charming? That's what you want in someone casting a spell.
That is, she's not what you'd expect.
What is it I'd expect, then? What?
Well, you know how German folklore is rife with haggard, brutally ugly witches. Oh, decrepit buzzards. Brutally haggard, ugly, old, decrepit buzzards, hunched over with a monstrously misshapen, grotesquely humped backs, long, gnarly noses, and protuberant, ill-proportioned, warty chins with tiny hairs and twisted, crooked, spiny-bony fingers.
Yes?
That's not her. On top of it all, she seems a little free-spirited, bold, unfettered by society's rules and regulations.
An unfettered woman! She must be an East Ender.
She's pleasant. Fanciful, too. No, make that whimsical. Found her rather sweet, actually.
Ooh! Watch out your Nazi spy doesn't make goo-goo eyes at her. He might steal your girl away. Has old Fiona Clutterbuck gone and cast a spell on you, old man? Are you blushing? No, seriously, I've never seen an Englishman blush before. I actually wouldn't know what it looks like.
Likely due to all the unconstrained enthusiasm I'm feeling at the moment, sir.
Yes, calm down! You're overthinking things, Fleming. If Hitler's as bonkers as Clutterbuck is, he'll fall for her mumbo-jumbo.
From your lips to God's ears.
I like to think that's how the chain of command works. So then, you have your orders. Follow them. Now, what of the disinformation campaign?
To that end, we're broadcasting a program of Nostradamus' predictions for the Germans to pick up, altered, naturally, for our purposes.
Altered naturally? What the hell does that even mean?
We rewrote them explicitly prophesying defeat for the Germans.
Oh, I thought somehow you got Nostradamus to rewrite them, and then I thought, how is that possible? And I was stumped, but now I understand. So go on, humor me with an example of a naturally altered Nostradamus quatrain.
My favorite is un grand guerre.
In English.
Oh, but it sounds so much better in French.
English.
A great war. See, it misses that dramatic, deep guttural resonance. The Germans strike, invade the other countries.
Oh, spot on. Continue.
They lose.
Is there more?
Nostradamus didn't speak much, mostly jotted things down for future reference.
Well, he was a forward-thinking type of fella.
We expect Rudolf Hess will pick up on the broadcasts. He, being personal astrologer to Hitler, it's a direct conduit.
I'm sorry, I'm still thinking of people dancing naked. Hard to shake that image out of one's head once it's in.
Try to strip it from your mind, sir.
That didn't help.
I trust the plan meets with your approval. There's no need to express yourself in that fashion, sir.
That finger is for Hitler. We'll have the victory over that hound yet.
Just thinking out loud, but what if you used two fingers, like V for victory? It's also more within the accepted bounds of propriety. Yeah, more sophisticated, dignified. You give off the air du monsieur distinct.
Oh, sorry, it's the baked beans I had for breakfast. Don't concern yourself that old Clutterbuck isn't the ghoul of your dreams. You know it's old stuffy nonsense. I know it's old stuffy nonsense. But Hitler and his chums, as long as they swallow it hook, line, and sinker.
Lights out and up on Fiona, the wee hours. She sits in her living room, nestled in a comfy chair, low light nearby, engrossed in a chronicle penned by her ancestors. A book titled The Book of Shadows.
Sir Francis Drake granted dominion over the seas We 12 Rosicrucians gathered at Devil's Point in a witch's circle at midnight. Clad bare we danced, raising a mighty storm, chanting, "Ye cannot cross the sea, cursed ye be, cursed ye be. Cursed ye be with curses of all who curse ye with curses be." Catchy. So that's how it's done then. Mr. Thickawaggle? There you are.
A magical transformation, and behold, instead of a cat, there stands Cecil Thickawaggle.
We've work to do.
A tight, small office in the Romanian consulate. Bishop is seated in a meeting with Alexandru Păvălescu, Romanian envoy.
Romania would love nothing more than to honor your request, but it's so very hard to stay neutral.
You don't fool me by feigning neutrality. We've recently discovered the Germans had planted an International House of Venus franchise on every other corner in Bucharest.
Guilty! So we Romanians have a love of German Venus. So what?
So what? What? Since when did the Romanians urge to feast on German wieners?
Oh, it could be worse. Just lightening the situation resulting from recent discovery is simple. We don't want German invasion any more than England does. It makes Germans very happy when we gobble their wieners.
But Păvălescu, to that purpose, the mutual assistance program we're proposing will help strengthen your independence.
Oh, Bishop, with all due respect, London is exhausting us with all your proposings. Yesterday is, please advise best Romanian witch practices. Then today is, hey, how about that mutual assistance program, huh? We're trying to stay neutral here. Can't you pretend we're Swiss? Except for accent, of course. Ignore accent.
Back up.
What? Where?
You received a request from us seeking advice on Romanian witchcraft?
You know, for some top secret ritual you plan. That is name. Operation some kind of monkey.
Oh, is that what Winston's calling it now? I get it. Very clever.
Cast spell on Hitler. Boo! Good luck with that. Hello, Heidi. Come escort Bishop to entrance that goes out of building.
Păvălescu, destroy that request for a witchcraft advisory. Under no circumstances respond.
Now, those are requests I can honor. Making progress. Heidi, so tell me, Bishop, where is location of big abracadabra? Huh?
Pretend you never heard of it. I wish I hadn't. I swear, as God is my witness. Excuse me, madam, for swearing in front of a lady's presence. Didn't I see you in Wagner's Die Walküre?
I'm afraid that is not the correct answer to the envoy's question.
Heidi, you are few sandwiches short of picnic?
It's not only your formidable shoulder pads that are most unladylike.
Quiet! Sit down, both of you. Do as I say. Schnell! Schnell means quick in German. Like lickety split.
Oh.
Fiona's parlor, Agnes reads from the Book of Shadows.
Blood of newt, eye of toad, simple household ingredients. You must have those around somewhere.
Step away from that book.
And hair of the one for whom the love spell spun. Oh, suddenly not so simple.
What if we snip, snip?
I said no.
It's not as if we were twisting his arm out of shape, bringing him to his knees, coercing him. That's an entirely different potion. See?
Agnes and Thickawaggle poke their noses into the book.
She's right.
Something blooms out of my association with Lieutenant Commander Fleming, then I much rather it happens without the benefit of witchcraft. But thank you both for caring what apparently seems to be an inappropriate amount about my love life.
Love is like a delicate blossom, Fiona. It needs gentle patience, nurturing, understanding if it's to bloom.
It may cause vomiting.
Perhaps he'll feel different once he sees you victorious over that Hitler chap.
He seems the type that no matter what proof presented, he'll find another reason not to believe it.
I know a way to make him believe it. I'm just a hair off.
Is that about the potion, or are you being introspective?
Just one lock of the Lieutenant Commander's hair, that's all I need.
Then again, you could pluck him till he's as bald as an egg if the Lieutenant Commander isn't the least bit interested. Funny how no one even considered that possibility.
What do you mean no one considered that possibility? You just did. Fiona, you heard him consider it, didn't you? Or am I hearing voices? Oh, not that again.
No, I heard him.
Clearing in Ashdown Forest near midnight, Friday. Crowley, Agnes, Thickawaggle, Fiona draped in white togas, and Fleming. He and Fiona speak while the witches busily prepare for the ritual.
I suppose you don't carry out too many rituals in the winter.
You might be surprised.
Do you then?
We usually have a bonfire on nights we're not threatened by attracting the, entire Luftwaffe. Plus, you don't feel the cold as much dancing around the flames.
Hadn't thought of that.
Not unusual. People often have inaccurate ideas about us.
Yes, so far no ogres, other than the one I assume is observing us at the moment. There, in the pines. There was a faint flickering.
In the pines? There's no one there.
We must assume there is.
There's no one out here besides us.
Well, they're here to observe. They're not about to expose their identities, but if they do, I'm ready. Don't worry.
I'm not worried, because there's no one there, Ian.
Shh, shh. Hear that? What was that,
A bird.
Or a clever, insidious, undercover Nazi agent, schooled expertly at imitating a flittering bullfinch, a puffin, or a black-tailed godwit amongst the branches to fool us.
You quite enjoy your work, don't you?
Has its perks. Like tonight. Fresh air, meet interesting people, learn about different customs. I'll be able to add naked dancing to the list, apparently. Who knows what else I'll discover before the night is through.
Great tit.
I'm sure. You appear to be in great shape.
The bird. It was an Eurasian great tit. What are some of your other interests?
I like to write, actually.
You're a writer.
Tales of espionage. That's to say, I fancy myself a writer of such tales. When I was but a tiny tyke, I used to make up stories, casting my nanny as a subversive enemy operative.
You showed early promise.
I didn't realize I had the talent until the night the authorities dragged Nanny away. I had to confess to making it all up to get her out of jail. Impressed the police. They asked me if I'd write their blotter. I was only 5. Being around uniformed men from an early age is what led me to work in military intelligence.
I've definitely turned a strange corner there, but I must say it worked out well in the end.
Perhaps I'll return to writing someday.
I'm sure you will.
You can say that, yet you've never read anything I've written. When I'm shown my writing to others, they
encourage you?
Smirk. Yet you have faith I could be a writer.
It's not faith. I know you can do it. It's in you. I believe we can focus our energy to manifest what's sown.
Is that how your bewitching works?
Exactly how it works. Have you ever thought of something only to have it come true? Dreamt of someone only to hear from them?
Yes. Apparently I need to be more careful about what I think and dream. But I'm afraid it would take magic for me to take up writing spy stories.
Why?
You can't be serious. We're at war. Duty calls.
But after war, what are your plans then?
After the war, I suppose I'll retire to a more mundane existence.
You speak as if you're under a spell.
Oh, that's ridiculous.
You're beholden to a firm belief about how things are, will be. Where did all that come from? There's an entire world past it.
Sweet, innocent Fiona. You have no idea what the world is really like.
We've called out a circle. Well, it looks like one. If you look at it from this angle, you sort of squint.
Just in time, too. The Amanita muscarius are taking effect. Ooh, look at my hand. It's talking to me. Hello, it's me. How are you?
I hear it too.
Lieutenant Commander, observe.
Faint memory surfaces of a dark, foggy night, a London music hall, a performance by an obscure Spanish ventriloquist. What does it all mean?
Maybe a treasure trove of memories to you, but it's just me hand. Wait till you see what it becomes the rest of me next. Don't be frightened, though. I'm not a biter.
Cecil!
Lights flashed. Thickawackles vanished.
Oh, you made yourself vanish. The classic magician's trick. Jolly good, Thickwaggle. Flash paper for effect, eh? Can you produce a shilling out of my ear next? With the way the war's inflated prices, it would be a treat to see money appear for a change rather than keep watching it disappear. Where's Thickwaggle?
I told you, Cecil, some people can't be convinced, no matter what.
Yes, is it left foot first or right foot?
I don't recall either. We haven't gone dancing for some time. I remember when it used to be a weekly ritual.
That's funny.
What is?
Left foot.
Agnes
Right.
readies her left foot.
Oh, what have we here? Hello, little kitty. You must be lost.
He's not lost. He's a familiar.
Cat. Here in the forest. He's a familiar forest cat.
Feral.
Not Farrell. His name's...
Agnes.
His name's Agnes.
Well, and Alistair, gather round.
Fiona, if witches manifest what's sown, then why were they so horribly persecuted?
What was sown was ignorance. That begat fear, then hate. We didn't nurture that. That was the work of others.
Give the damn Nazis a good show.
Ye cannot cross the sea. Cursed be ye, cursed be ye, cursed be ye with curses. Who cursed ye be, and...
They start to drop their togas, lights out.
Dance! Cursed be ye with curses, cursed ye be with curses, cursed ye be with curses. Ooga chaka, ooga, ooga, ooga chaka, ooga, ooga.
Churchill study. He finishes the victory sign to Fleming.
2 words.
Victory!
That's 1 word.
Indeed it is. One glorious word. Triumph is a good one word too. Now that would be...
That makes it look like you're repelling vampires. Stick with V.
I'm telling you, reports indicate Nazi forces are migrating northeast. It appears our operation on orangutans a success. Congratulations.
Oh, thank you, sir. That's wonderful news. I'll inform Crowley and Clutterbuck. Perhaps we can have them focus next on
It's mission accomplished, Fleming. They've done their duty. From outward appearances, that is. Let's be honest, man. 'Twasn't a spell that put off Hitler's plans, but his tactical blunders. Still, a victory is a victory.
But we don't know that with any certainty. What if they did play a part?
I have more faith in your Nostradamus revisions having worked than in old Clutterbuck's hocus pocus. They're to cease their activities immediately.
I was under the impression we use anything and everything, sir.
Why does everyone regurgitate what I said a week ago?
It's because you're the Prime Minister, and your words carry weight.
Good. I wanted to make sure that was the case. What's crucial at the moment is cracking the Enigma code. You'll be working alongside Turing in Buckinghamshire.
The Enigma code's dodged our best decryption efforts for years. That could have me stuck behind a desk for the rest of the war.
Oh, pish-posh. I wouldn't give it more than somewhere between longer than you think and forget you have a life. You'll work with their cryptanalysis team on German naval signals. We'll go over details in the morning. 0800 hours. And pick me up a jar of jelly for my toast. I need to replenish all the energy I use off sleeping.
East Grinstead Pub, evening, at a table.
I'm so sorry, Fiona dear.
Everything appeared to be going swimmingly, didn't it?
You
Not
seem
just
like
me.
birds of a feather.
Two peas in a pod.
Tweedledum and Tweedledee.
And that's all he said?
Yes, the mission's over and Mr. Churchill orders we cease our activities at once. And then all he said was goodbye.
Over a phone call. You'd think after working so closely together, he'd say goodbye in person.
Quite cold of him, says I. Oh, now I've made myself chilly.
I shouldn't take it personally, I suppose.
Why not?
It's just business to them.
Why are you defending him?
In all fairness, it is a bit of a drive to deliver a message when you can just as well make a phone call.
Fiona dear, we're all on your side. Why aren't you?
His altruistic nature was merely a manipulative tool he used to exploit you. You didn't stand a chance against his upstanding ways and decent manners, you poor dear.
How could you resist his Adonis-like good looks, overconfident swagger, and the way he keeps his uniform so wrinkle-free for a bachelor?
With those little military creases looking all crisp and proper.
All good things come to an end.
The good times couldn't last forever.
All right, I got the point.
His looks don't sway me. If I saw him, I'd punch him square in his nose, I would.
Oh, take a number. I give him such a good hissing. Hiss. Fiona, put me in a room with him, turn him into a mouse, and let me have a go.
I will do no such thing.
Why do you keep refusing to use magic on him? Turn him right round, you would.
It's more preferable to me if he came right round on his own, which doesn't appear at all likely now, does it? Cheers.
Fleming enters the pub.
Well, look who has the nerve to show up. Did you do that? You said it's preferable to you. He came right around. Can't get any more right round than he just did.
I said that without intent to encant.
Ah, Fiona, there you are. You weren't at home. I don't know why I'm telling you that. Obviously, you already know it. Suddenly, I had the notion you might be here. I don't know why I think that. Hello.
Hello.
Did you summon him then?
Certainly not.
I think you saying, put me in a room with him, is what summoned him.
I can do that.
Well, second thought, no. Stop being so full of yourself.
Surprised to see you here. I thought...
Yes, I experienced remorse about my call earlier.
Oh?
It was far too impersonal. I didn't feel it proper ending things that way.
Oh.
May I sit down?
They observe Fleming as he takes a few moments to noticeably, fastidiously pull up his trouser legs, straighten his sleeve cuffs, smooth out his uniform.
I was in the midst of packing. I'd been reassigned, but then suddenly got this notion to see you. An overwhelming urge, actually, out of the blue. Very strange. You didn't make that happen, did you? No, of course you didn't. That's ridiculous. I'm glad I caught you all together. Did Fiona tell you?
Yes, you bastard. You think you could treat Fiona like yesterday's... I forgot how that saying goes. It's yesterday's something or other. How dare you?
I'm talking about Hitler's change of plans. The invasion's off and the Germans altered course. The Prime Minister is not convinced you're responsible for that, of course, but nonetheless sends his gratitude on behalf of the nation for your effort. What are you talking about?
Anyone for darts?
I am.
Count me in.
They abruptly rise and leave Fiona and Fleming alone, but immediately scurry back to huddle close behind them, eavesdropping.
I apologize if that's what you thought.
Been reassigned?
Yes, to Buckinghamshire. I'm to meet with the Prime Minister at 0800 hours for a briefing. Came here to tell you personally why you won't be seeing me anymore.
He's here because I summoned him. Who's he taking all the credit?
There's nothing else Mr. Churchill has for you here?
I thought you'd be relieved to hear that.
I looked forward to our time together.
As did I. Meeting you has been a refreshing respite for my usual routine.
Oh, I see. Well, now that your usual routine has been refreshed...
I didn't mean it like that. Fiona, I also need to warn you. Be careful. I can't say whether you affected Hitler's brainwaves or not, but I could say if the Nazis believe your ritual did what you think it did, then your lives are in the gravest peril.
Gravest peril? That sounds like a fancy way of saying we could get killed, don't it?
Or you can put it that way.
No, I'll put it that way. Thanks so much.
I think I can hear you, Agnes.
I can hear Agnes, I can hear you, Alistair, and I can hear Thickwaggle's brain whirling away, wondering if I could hear him. I heard that.
The witches take a collective step back.
Fiona, I'm sorry. If only we weren't at war. With the Germans.
Of course! I should have thought of it before. Ian, when we were last together, we wasted the opportunity. We could have gone further.
Oh, well, you are an intriguing woman. I would have welcomed getting to know you better. And the way you look so lovely dancing in the moonlight. Not that I was looking, the moon was in my eyes.
That may have been me.
I'm saying we should not have stopped at a spell to only turn away an invasion. We could have done more.
Oh, you mean casting a spell to end the war completely? Yes, that would have been lovely too.
Ian, what if we
Are we talking about you and me?
cast another spell on Hitler?
Casting another spell on Hitler. Yes, right. That's what I was talking about. Sorry, another spell?
Ian, if the war somehow were to end immediately, what would have to happen to cause that?
Ah, well, can't say the War Cabinet hasn't mulled this one over before.
I hate to be crude, but would it involve assassinating Hitler? Tell me.
Well, no, actually. In that scenario, it's possible one of his officers would seize power, possibly fueled stronger by revenge. A better scenario is if we could discourage him, have him give up hope to the point he formally surrenders.
Go on.
Oh, I didn't know you harbored an interest in military intelligence. Oh, we have more in common than I thought. I discover more things that fascinate me about you every day, Fiona. In a purely personal sense, I mean, it's not like I'm spying on you. Or anything.
Back to getting Hitler to surrender?
Well, the problem is, his fortress is protected by minefields and barbed wire. Bodyguards surround him at all times. His travels by ground and air top secret. Under those circumstances, getting to him to the extent where he abandons all hope would take far more than the Nostradamus broadcast. Naturally, you could see why it's impractical.
Naturally. Hold that thought. We have another spell to cast.
Oh, joyous!
Will
What?
it be a good spell?
Yanks a lock of Fleming's hair.
Ow!
We'll need this.
Not a love spell, a surrender spell.
Oh, you think about it. It's not really the same thing.
A spell to have Hitler surrender.
Oh, maybe not the same thing.
No, no, no!
That's odd. It sounds just like he's saying, no, no, no.
Lieutenant Commander Fleming hasn't the authority to stop the citizenry from defending their homeland. Isn't that right, Ian? Besides, this is for an even greater cause. It's for love of humanity.
Oh, so it is a love spell.
No, stop it! Don't be nonsensical.
Oh, so now you think I'm nonsensical.
I think that I'd better stop saying anything more before I say something I regret.
You crossed that bridge when you plunged off it a moment ago.
Ian, you said the idea was taken up before. Well, implement it. Take our proposal to hex Hitler to Mr. Churchill. See if he'll give his approval.
He'll laugh me out of Downing Street is what he'll do.
Did he laugh when you previously discussed the idea?
Heartily, with deep belly guffaws, like this. Ha, ha, ha! I told you it's impractical. Though the intelligence sources support the strategy.
What sources might those be?
They have to be kept confidential, old man. That's to say, they conclude Hitler believes himself divine. on a spiritual mission. Have you ever heard of a Masonic complex?
I thought that meant you kept a messy room. My little snollygost always said that about me.
I proposed if Hitler believed Germany is suffering defeat, his delusion would have him lay fault with his underlings rather than himself.
What would that do?
Only that it could prompt him to kill and replace them, causing a chilling effect, perhaps even chaos in the ranks. Then we'd see him unravel, risk extreme measures, make mistakes as a result, suffer tremendous losses until his own generals force him to surrender or if he refused, kill him. But I'm sure you see an undertaking of that magnitude
Makes for a jolly good plan.
It's anonymous then.
You mean unanimous?
No, I mean anonymous. It was said the sources are confidential.
Look for such a spell in the Book of Shadows. Thank you so much, Ian, for coming up with our plan.
It's not our plan. In fact, it's not even a plan.
Ah, look at the hour.
It's gotten late. I should go.
Fiona, this is from the Prime Minister. You're ordered to cease any further interactions with Hitler's head.
And let the war barrel along when I can stop it? Why? Is Mr. Churchill's way so smart?
I didn't say it was smart. I said they were orders.
Mind you, but Mercury, Venus, Jupiter, and Pluto align tomorrow night.
I sense from the way you said that I'm to infer it actually means something.
Witchcraft is at its most powerful if it takes place when planets align. We haven't time. When you meet with the Prime Minister tomorrow morning, you must see if you can get his permission. Please.
I'm sorry. I can't do that.
You can't or won't. I thought you were on my side.
Fiona.
My mistake. I was swayed by your overconfident swagger and neatly pressed uniform.
With all its proper creases.
With all due respect, Fiona.
Don't all due respect me.
I could respect you with less due? If that's where you were going with that, help a man out. Despite my overconfident swagger, I'm not good with what women want to hear. Fiona!
What's he want?
Never mind him. He's not the man I thought he was.
No, that was the Lieutenant Commander, dear. Do you need glasses?
I'll explain it to you all later. I want to go now.
Take my arm. It's me, Agnes. I'll be your eyes. Make way for the blind!
Fiona! No more dancing about naked.
Her patron stares at Fleming.
She'll attract Nazis. They'll observe her moves. I don't mean that the way you think.
Ah, problems de femmes, monsieur.
Problem. Big problem. You're French, then you know about women. Love. In the time of war. You're a civilian, not weighted with war effort. Find myself envious of you, monsieur. You get to wake up with your arms wrapped around the woman you love. And for a still moment, the world is at peace. Not a thing to take you away from her. It's all because of hope, isn't it? Hope of living in a peaceful world. Hope that Cupid's arrow will always find its perfect mark. Well, my friend, we don't live in a world where peace is assured and love finds its way. Hope leads to nothing but disappointment. So if I'm to enjoy any happiness at all, then I have to abandon all hope. That makes sense. Wouldn't you agree?
Alcoholic. Ah!
I knew you'd understand these matters. After all, you're French. Thank you, sir. Bonjour.
Outside the pub, walking back home.
But the planets will be all nicely aligned in a row, Fiona.
They align in a row? Learn something new every day.
Think of it like a queue in the cosmos.
What's in the cosmos for them to queue up for? They make no sense to me whatsoever.
Planet alignment's such a terrible thing to waste.
I can't ask you to risk imprisonment or death.
On the other hand, that...
But we can't let you sacrifice yourself while we stand by.
She just gave you a very good rebuttal on that very topic. Are you paying attention?
My dear Alistair, Agnes, Cecil, I don't want to do the ritual without you, but I can't do it with you.
Why all the fuss, dear? It's a simple spell. One commands Hitler's whereabouts to make him come here. Then you can put the nab on him. Here, I'll do it for you.
No, don't!
Think it through first.
Lights dark in color.
Let thy compass be baffled, direction befuddled, thy way be muddled, thy path be scuttled, and shuttled, and shuffled. Thus I entreat, now thy journey complete, till thy vessel lie nestled here at our feet.
Watch out!
Lights up.
Perhaps not as simple as that spell makes it sound.
You were going to bring Hitler here to us? What? So we could all hobnob around a bit, go on a picnic together? Seriously?
It's both impressive and disturbing at the same time how you can be so downright bonkers.
And again, perhaps the Lieutenant Commander will realise how much this means to you and agree to change Mr. Churchill's mind.
Worried he won't.
Agnes, you've given me a brilliant idea.
I have? Well then, and on a positive note, what's that? Another brilliant idea. Or maybe not end, because I'm on a roll.
Well, it's good night for me.
Me too. Good night.
Thickerwuckle, may I speak with you for a moment?
It's fine. I'll go on ahead with Agnes.
Be careful.
Oh, she's not that bonkers.
It won't be long. Thickerwuckle, listen. If Fleming needs Churchill's official permission for us to go ahead with the ritual tomorrow night, then why don't we give the lad that permission?
Excellent. Why do I feel there's a vital part missing about how exactly we go about that?
Because there's a vital part missing, but it's simple, really.
Simple, really.
Right, boy, you catch on so quickly. You, Agnes, and I pay a visit to 10 Downing Street tomorrow morning in time for Fleming's meeting. We'll get them to open the door. She'll distract them. You sneak in as a cat, scoot yourself upstairs. There you transform into Churchill. You meet with Fleming and order him to let us proceed.
One little detail. Just how do I transform myself into Mr. Churchill?
You'll
I've
enter
only
into...
ever been Cecil Thickerwaggle and a cat, and that's under official arrangement with Fiona.
You'll enter into a pact with me and act as my familiar, just for while we're there.
Oh, great. A temporary third-party application. Do you know how unstable that can make a metamorphosis? I might give after a few minutes. And what do I do with the genuine Churchill whilst I'm masquerading as him?
You'll figure it out as you go.
Now that you've spelled it out for me, my mind's at ease. What was I worried about? Silly me. Well, good night.
You do understand it's imperative that Fleming don't see you and Churchill together.
Easy peasy. Walk in the park, a piece of cake.
Crowley grabs him back in.
What?
I can't tell if you were being sarcastic.
I wasn't. I was being sardonic.
And verbose.
Can't help it. I'm a gabby cat.
Come back here.
What? Now?
If you don't do this, our little Fiona's going to be out there tomorrow night, all alone by her itty bitty little self.
Oh, damn it. Very bloody well.
Excellent. You sound like Mr. Churchill already.
10 Downing Street, front door.
Ready?
As I'll ever be. One thing. What would you have me do again?
Oh, I shudder to think of the great things we could accomplish if only you were capable of paying attention.
What?
But I guess we'll never know. Focus, Agnes. Just this once. When the constable opens the door, distract him by lifting your skirt and showing some leg, just like Claudette Colbert in It Happened One Night. At the moment you have his attention, Thickerwuckle here. What are you doing in human form? You're supposed to be a cat. You need to be metamorphosed, man.
All right, all right.
readies himself for metamorphosis.
Not here, over there where no one can see.
Thickawaggle runs off stage, lights, colors, effects from off stage. Crowley knocks on the door and he hides to the side, but not far away.
As it happened in one night.
Ah, thank you for the timely reminder.
You're welcome.
Anytime.
The constable opens the door. Agnes lifts her skirt above her knee, extending her leg out.
Good morning, Constable. Do you notice what I'm doing?
Yes, Mum, but I'm not sure what you expect me to do about it.
Neither do I. I never did see the movie. I haven't the foggiest what happens next.
Is there something I can help you with?
How do I know? I just told you I haven't the foggiest what happens next.
Right. Next time you might want to try the Liberal Party. You'll find their offices on Whitehall Place. I think you'll find them more your type.
Churchill's study.
Tonight.
Yes, sir. I was confused at first, I admit, but she's apparently determined. There may be no stopping her.
Damn these women. 19, 18.
I agree. They are confusing at that age, but I believe she's older than that.
I'm talking about the year women got the right to vote. It's been a slippery slope since. Now civilization stands clinging onto a scant fringe of hope. Coincidence?
If the Nazis believe she affected Hitler's mind, then no doubt there are orders at this very moment directing their operative to kill them. They'll be vulnerable out in the woods tonight.
Their only offense, they dance naked.
We're the ones who brought them into this. We'll be the ones to...
They've been informed not to proceed, correct?
Yes, sir.
You serve the common good in Buckinghamshire, not herding a batty backwards conclave of cuckoos.
But, sir...
Not another word!
But...
Bah!
What?
Bah!
Yes, sir.
Every minute you're here is a minute lost breaking the Enigma code. Crucial supplies lost at sea with every sunken ship.
E is A, B is T. I figured it out this morning, right after I figured out Fiona. Oh, I was on a streak.
It's nice you found a woman who inspires you. Just why can't you find one who's not crazy as a loon? Speaking of loons, have you heard from the good bishop? It's been several days, and I'm afraid...
Bishop, frazzled and in disarray, burst through the door.
Never mind, I found him.
Nazis! They've infiltrated the Romanian consulate!
My God, man! You look like you've been dragged through hell! Sit here! Puff!
Thank you, Winston. Tastes good. The Nazi kept me captive. Me and the Romanian envoy minister plenipotentiary. That's Pavlescu. Demanded I spill the beans to her.
Her who?
Her! Nazi, that's who!
Who's her Nazi?
The Nazi was a woman!
The Nazi was a woman? Wasn't that a Hitchcock movie?
How insidious. Who is she?
Heidi Schickelgruber, Pavlescu's secretary. It was a complete shock to Pavlescu that she's a spy. How would the Romanians have known?
Oh, I don't know. Perhaps given the fact that Heidi is the nickname for Adolf Hyde, Schickelgruber, an obviously German name in an otherwise all-Romanian consulate should have sounded an alarm, especially given that the Germans are the bad guys.
That adorable little Swiss girl.
Not that Heidi. Trust me. This Heidi's a Nazi, a very large Nazi.
I blame the grandfather. Got soft on her.
I kept a stiff upper lip throughout the ordeal. Made it impossible for Schickelgruber to understand anything I said.
Good man.
A few hours went by, she interrogating me speaking through crunched British lips. The tension mounted, life or death at stake. Suddenly there was a noise outside the door. Her attention distracted momentarily. I seized the opportunity, for there by the desk, within my grasp, was a bust of Queen Marie of Romania. Knowing I had but 1 second to ask, I grabbed Queen Marie's bust.
Oh, that's an interesting visual, the way you put that.
Thank you. And thwacked Schickelgruber on her head.
With Queen Marie's bust.
I'm regretting making that visual.
Good heavens, man, you must have been mortified.
Mortified? I was exhilarated. It reminded me of my youth, back in the seminary's pugilist club. I was fisticuffs champion 1922. They called me the Bell from Hell.
Pugilitis, the boxing sport of ancient gladiators. Or legalized attempted murder. 6 of 1.
Another puff?
Bishop sits and puffs on Churchill's cigar while Churchill rubs down the bishop's shoulders like he's between boxing rounds.
Then, quickly opening the nearby window, Pamela Yachouh and I climbed out on the ledge, hastily making our escape.
How traumatic.
I'm not being dramatic! Stop being
I said traumatic! Then what happened?
Pamela Yachouh lost his footing and plummeted to the ground.
His downfall.
Then I lost my grasp and landed on top of him. Decent chap. He cushioned my fall.
It's a miracle. Well, not so much for Pavlusco, but for you, a most excellent outcome.
Oh, Pamela Yachouh's fine. His office is on the ground floor.
But you say you didn't talk, that you never gave Schickelgruber the operation's location, so she couldn't have been there. That's odd.
What is?
Fiona said it wasn't an SS agent hid in the woods, but a great tit.
Are you sure that's what she said, Fleming?
I am. I say, where is Schickelgruber currently?
Sorry if I didn't stick around to ask.
I must hasten to Ashford Forest to safeguard Fiona and her fellowship.
Safeguard them? I ordered you stop their nonsense.
But what if their nonsense is of some benefit to the nation?
Nonsense. Being a benefit to the nation? That's government's job. That woman has turned you upside down. Get a grip on yourself.
I don't believe in their sorcery any more than you do. But if it plagues Hitler to believe dark forces are against him, I say bloody well let them do more of it.
If they carry out another ritual, they risk exposure.
They tell me dancing about keeps them warm.
I mean Schickelgruber will capture them, torture them. They might become agreeably talkative. She'll uncover our subterfuge. Go! Stop them before the Nazis do!
Oh, so now you want me to go?
If your Fiona proceeds tonight with any more of her hocus-pocus, we may very well find ourselves doing the seagull goose step.
You're right, sir.
Come, George, have a rest in my throne room.
Thickawaggle is now transformed into Thickawaggle Churchill and snuck in behind Fleming. Thickawaggle Churchill mimics Churchill, and he's a lampoon of the character, but in the other's eyes, he's seen as the genuine article. Fleming turns, finding himself face to face with him.
Where do you think you're going?
Sir, weren't you just...
You're to inform Clutterbuck that she's to proceed with our ritual straight away.
I don't understand. You were just a moment ago making very, very intelligent arguments against that.
Well, I can explain that, obviously.
Yes?
I obviously changed my mind.
Obviously.
That's you.
Who was that?
He turns away. Thickawaggle Churchill leaps to an unseen spot. Fleming turns back to him. The door opens. Churchill enters.
What are you still doing here?
Sir, how did you...
Instead of dilly-dallying about chattering questions, why don't you use that time to actually go?
Yes, sir. If I may ask, what caused you to change your mind?
I told you, any further activity renders everything we hold dear at risk.
What? Didn't you just say...
I say, Winston, have you brought in a cat?
A cat? The man's mad as a hatter. There aren't any cats here, George. They're all at the country home with the missus. Well, what are you still doing here? Just point your crotch toward Ashford Forest and go. There's no time.
Yes, sir.
Churchill exits, closing door behind him. This exposes Thickawaggle Churchill standing behind the door.
And when you get there, have Miss Fiona proceed with the ritual.
What?
Do I need to repeat myself? Go meow.
Notices he's turning back into a cat.
Beg pardon?
Go meow.
Did you just lick yourself?
No meow.
Did you just say meow?
No, that was the cat.
What cat?
My cat.
But a moment ago you said you haven't a cat.
I do have a cat.
You do have a cat?
Meow. There he goes.
Where?
Didn't you see him?
No.
Well, when you should happen to see him, which should be just a moment, any moment now, you'll notice straight away that he's a cat.
Suddenly, he sports cat whiskers.
You've grown whiskers.
No, I haven't.
Yes, you have.
Yes, I have. Because I have a fast-growing 5 o'clock shadow.
8:30 in the morning.
Unusually fast-growing. Meow.
There it is again.
What is?
The cat.
What cat?
Your cat.
My cat. Yes, my cat. Meow. Where are you, kitty? Meow. Do you see him? I see him. There you are, kitty. Meow. I really have to go. Meow.
Out of Fleming's sight, he dives to the floor.
What's all this clamoring? Didn't you say you were going?
So did you, just now.
Why would I? Is that a cat?
Where?
There.
It is a cat.
I can see that. Where did it come from?
Don't you recognize it?
Should I?
It's your cat.
It is.
Yes, you have a cat.
I have a cat.
Yes, that one.
Apologies, George. I do have a cat.
That explains my rash.
Gesundheit. Pardon my German. Why are you still here? Go! Damn those witches. I'll have that whole coven collared if I must.
Collared? But...
Up pops Thickawaggle, spooked by the news, transformed full cat now. Thickawaggle the person, but with cat ears, whiskers, paws, and tail. And that's how he remained for the rest of the play.
Ah, Kitty. No, don't run away.
He picks up and cuddles Thickawaggle, who spends the next few moments squirming, trying to scramble out of Churchill's arms.
You're still standing there off to my side, aren't you, Fleming?
I'm confused.
Yes, you do strike me as being of the baffled sort lately.
It's just, do you or do you not want me to have the witches stop conducting further rituals?
Young sir, we could find ourselves worse off than we find ourselves in our present situation regarding Herr Hitler. I can't believe I have to explain all this to you. You are an intelligence, are you not? Can you show some? Please, tell me you can. Can you give me some sort of sign?
And if Fiona and her fellowship, should they not agree to stop?
Then I can think of no circumstance where you would not have the authority to stop them.
Sir?
You've a 00 license, do you not?
But they're British subjects.
Breaching the orders of His Majesty's government, putting our beloved England at risk. Oh, don't tell me you've gone and fallen in love with her.
That is...
Oh, God, you do love her. You remind me of myself as a young officer. I also dreamt of daring do. I was diligent, worked hard, exhibited ambition. Then in 1908, Kismet, I dragged myself begrudgingly to a boring, dull society dinner party.
You have an odd definition of kismet.
'Twas Kismet, for there at the party, lo and behold, was my wife.
What was Mrs. Churchill doing at the party without you?
No. The dinner party was where I first met my darling Clementine. I proposed after 1 month. We married 5 months later. This year marks 32 years of wedded bliss. Forgive my emotional outburst. I'm half American.
Congratulations. And your secret to a happy marriage?
We're both in love with the same man. Fleming, a man can't live a full life behind his work. He's got to get out and find love. Remember this. You only live twice. One life for yourself and one for your dreams.
That doesn't make any sense.
Do you love Fiona?
Very much so.
There are things in heaven and hell we were never meant to understand. That's got to be one of them. Now go!
But what about how a man's got to go find love?
Poppycock!
But you just said so.
Damn it. Then heed this sage advice. Tell her about it. Tell her all your crazy dreams.
Let her know I need her?
Let her know how much she means.
Sage advice indeed, by Joe.
You got to tell her about it. You know the girl don't want to wait. Though it works a lot better if she's on board in the first place, otherwise it's harassment.
Yes, sir. Will do, sir.
Then go tell her about it. But don't let that stop you if you have to kill her. Love, or whatever his present affliction is, may save the day after all. Kitty? Are you hungry? What say I have a tasty treat brought up for you? Fancy salmon?
Ashdown Forest ritual site night. All wear togas. Crowley's in his mystical headdress. Fiona's referencing the Book of Shadows.
We can't proceed without Thickerwoggle.
That would make the ritual unfamiliar. Oh, that sounds unright.
According to the Book of Shadows, in an emergency I can press a volunteer into service. A makeshift familiar. So now, who wants to be a small cat?
You do realize the sort of things they like licking.
Very well. Can one of you at least gather a few mushrooms for Cecil for when he arrives? That will save us precious time.
Me, pick me.
Thank you, Agnes. There's a fresh crop of Amanita muscara over there by the smelly, rotting limb.
Where?
See all that putrid mold?
Hang on, I just realized. Oh no.
What's the matter?
It's not going to work.
Are you saying our ritual won't work? Not that waltzing about without our knickers on a summer night isn't a success all on its own. It's not the destination, it's the journey. But why not?
You see here, it says, with Francis Drake granted dominion over the seas.
Don't you simply love the elegant way people spoke back then? Nowadays they'd say, Francis Drake, is that a duck?
Drake's been granted dominion over the seas refers to his commission authorized by Queen Elizabeth I. When we staved off Hitler's invasion, it was Mr. Churchill authorized by King George. You see, the spells lent authority when it includes a representative of the crown.
But Churchill's disapproved of tonight's ritual.
Exactly.
Oh, that's the problem you're nattering on about. I've got good news then. Thickerwoggle, Agnes, and I took the initiative. A little plan we implemented just this morning.
Oh.
The bad news is, from what you've just told me, our plan won't work the way we thought.
Oh. Can't you plant a thought in Mr. Churchill to change his mind?
That's riddled with a problem. You see, to magnify and transmit hypnotic vibration frequencies from here all the way to London, it's much too far a distance.
What if you got an assist from a familiar?
Oh, like a booster. Yes, that would have been simpler, wouldn't it? Would have saved the bus fare. Quite the moot point, however, with Thickerwoggle absent. Who'd act as my familiar now?
Agnes, you be Alistair's familiar, all right?
Right.
Plant the thought in Mr. Churchill. Now, Alistair, before the planets rotate out of alignment.
Right, get ready, Agnes.
Left foot first.
Yours or mine?
Yes.
Just do what I do.
Crowley does silly movements, Agnes, being high, awkwardly follows.
Stop!
Stop!
You're all in grave danger.
What danger? We're all perfectly fine.
You don't understand. If the Nazis believe your spell worked, you're at risk.
And?
There's also a tiny matter about you endangering only the entire world. I have orders to stop you.
Stop us? Do you really not have any faith in me at all, Ian?
This is another one of those times it would help if I were good with what women want to hear, isn't it? Look, I know you really believe you have supernatural abilities to turn frogs into princes.
Now he's blaming us for the royal family.
But you're fooling yourselves.
Oh, you think so?
From what I know about the fundamental laws of physics, science, and logic, yes, I really do think so. Here's what I believe. The Nazis believe in
Witchcraft.
superstitions, and what you do affects them. So damn my orders. I'm willing to help you. But right now, it's too dangerous for you to assemble here in the open and proceed with your plans. You must return to your homes.
In summary, Fiona dear, he still does not believe you.
Churchill emerges from the surrounding foliage, holding petting Thicklewaggle the cat.
Fleming, I ordered you shut down your Operation Clutterbuck.
You changed the operation's name again?
No, I was being wittily impish. It's my trademark when I meet new people. Hello, everyone.
Is that Mr. Churchill with Cecil?
Hello, Fiona, Alistair, Agnes.
Hello.
Witches can recognize and understand him.
Hello.
Thicklewaggle jumps from Churchill's grasp to rejoin the coven.
Don't be frightened. He's not a biter.
What took you so long?
I was on my way when suddenly I was compelled to investigate something fishy.
Did you wrap it up?
I can say it's in the can.
You didn't tell me you planned to be here.
I didn't plan to be here. But given how off your rocker you were, I had to make sure you follow through with your orders, and so the thought came to me to get myself out here.
Which wasn't so easy for us to psychically transmit.
Difficult for you, is it for me?
Mr. Churchill, I'm Fiona Clutterbuck. I insist we be permitted to carry out what we consider our duty.
This is your old Fiona Clutterbuck.
I am speaking, sir. We have a plan.
We already have a war plan. Thank you, madam.
But our plan can terminate the war as soon as tonight.
It's a very reasonable, sound plan.
You see, the planets have lined up in a cosmic queue. But for what reason, don't ask me.
Stop this boulder dash.
On what basis? Because it's beyond human analyzation?
No, madam.
Because you can't get the drift of it.
Certainly not.
That's because it sounds like utter nonsense, doesn't it?
Finally, someone's making sense. The rest of you would do well to be more like your friend here. Correct, madam. And continuing your voodoo puts the entire world at risk.
Our voodoo can result in just the opposite.
It appears your assessment was right, Fleming. She is doggedly bull-headed, as stubborn as a mule.
His words, not mine.
He warned me you're determined to proceed, despite orders to cease. It gave me no choice but to order Fleming stop your buffoonery, and, despite his feelings for you, to use deadly force if need be.
Buffoonery.
Never mind that, deadly force.
Never mind that, his feelings for me.
Never mind that, deadly force.
Lest you fall into the Nazis' hands and compromise our operations, endangering millions of your fellow countrymen, risking the entire world falling to the ire of Nazi fascism.
And for that you'd have us shot. It don't make good sense though, doesn't it?
That's why I wasted no time since I got here imploring you.
You've been doing what? You not wasting time all this time. Has been wasting time all this time.
Take a few moments and savour the irony of that.
Mr. Churchill, we won't be stopped by you or the Lieutenant Commander.
Did you hear that, Fleming? Arrest them.
Fiona, you've brought a new perspective into my life.
That's not sounding like an arrest, Fleming. Put some putting you behind bars into it.
A wider view. Help me sort matters through.
That's not anywhere close. Are you even trying?
Giving me greater clarity.
Here's your pistol if any one of them resists.
A better understanding of things.
No, Fleming!
Helped me evolve.
Where are you going with this, Fleming?
Fiona.
That's what I was afraid of.
You've made me a better man.
Oh, good God.
And what's more?
Need I remind you? You'll jeopardize your good name as an officer in His Majesty's Royal Navy if you don't carry out your orders at once.
I fear greater risk.
Ah! Ah! It's that damn 1918 effect.
I love you. Oh, my God. Oh, you have no idea what it took for me to say that. But now that I have, Fiona Clutterbuck, I love you. Well, don't you have anything to say?
You were ready to shoot me.
Suddenly, Schicklgruber emerges from the foliage, pointing her gun. She has a bandage wrapped around her head.
If he doesn't, I will.
We're not the druids you're looking for.
So, we meet at last, Agent Schicklgruber.
That's Heidi?
Unwine. Do not mistake me for that joyful young little Schweizer.
Actually, no worries there.
I'm afraid I cannot permit you to proceed with your plans. The Fuhrer would not like it if you did.
It's not like we were going to tell him.
Silence!
But we weren't honest.
Enough! All of you, move. Schnell! Schnell means quick, in German. As in lickety split.
I think I knew that.
You realize you're threatening the Prime Minister of the United Kingdom?
That means war, you know.
The Edelweiss feather mit Bohrhead Holderpin in my Bavarian Bergsteigerhut. I look forward to the honor and place in history being Winston Churchill's assassin shall bring me.
I wasn't going to shoot you. If need be, I was only going to knock you over the head until you blacked out so I could drag you bodily out of danger.
In summary, Fiona, he does love you.
Such sweet nothings you Englishmen utter. Now say your goodbyes!
Stop! Germana, stop!
Do you think I came unprepared for your sorcery, witch? We Germans have a tradition of witchcraft too.
Watch out! She's going to turn us into gingerbread men.
Britannicus consido!
Wakatus booticus!
Et tu?
Et tu!
Oh yeah? Double tutu! Femina lucas!
You missed! Femina porcus!
As entertaining as this is, it's not as riveting as women yanked each other's hair out, scratched their faces, gouged each other's eyes.
Ah, when ladies beamed. Quite right. Ladies, could you balance it up a bit for us spectators? Thank you.
Bishop sprouts out of the foliage, still erect, face completely red with rash.
Schicklgruber!
Ah, Bishop! Another Edelweiss feather mit Bohrhead Holderpin in my...
Bishop pulls out a gun and shoots Schicklgruber. She drops dead on the spot.
Good going, George!
I was also my seminary's top marksman.
Between your pugilistic championships and gun tournaments, wherever did you find the time, or inclination, to follow the Prince of Peace?
I was secretary of the Student Time Management Club. I kept the minutes.
Ah, yes, that hardly explains anything. Now, as I was saying, Miss Clutterbuck, for our
Enough! There's no sense in yammering on. Ominous, attentus!
Instantly, Churchill, Fleming, and Bishop snap to attention, stiff in a trance.
Close ranks!
Churchill, Fleming, and Bishop shuffle into place side by side.
Right face!
They turn. Alistair, Agnes, Fiona, and Thicklewaggle scuttle up behind them in formation into one line.
And conga line!
All dance in a conga line.
Come surrender Hitler! Come surrender Hitler! Come surrender.
A plane roars, passing overhead. All look up. Down parachutes Hitler. He's confused. All are stunned, silent a few moments.
Well, don't be rude. Introduce yourself. Go on.
Compass kaputt!
Good show, Agnes. You did it.
I did.
Positive. It's both impressive and disturbing at the same time.
I did it.
Madam, never in the field of human conflict was so much owed by so many twos.
So few?
I was going to say witches, but I like yours. Yours won't have Parliament questioning my competence and forcing my resignation.
No, it won't. Not really.
Fleming, what's the matter? You look dumbfounded.
Lord, it's true. I really am going to write spy novels.
Isn't it wonderful?
Heart-stopping, actually. But what of my service to the king?
We'll send him a copy of every novel you publish.
Fleming runs to her.
That's the least of what we'll do, isn't it?
Shut up and kiss me.
They embrace, kiss.
In summary, Fiona dear, he does believe in you.
Lights out, curtain.
Cheers. Director Writer, please come on for curtain call. Thank you, everyone. Thank you for your support of the arts. ATC Studios is a 501c3, and your tax-deductible donations are always gratefully accepted. You may make a donation through our website right on the homepage at www.atcstudios.org or by Venmo at ATC Studios. Thank you for joining us.